guys, it is Monday the 12th of August. How are we already in the third week of the Newts? Where's the time gone is all I'm gonna say. Quick update on my reading. So Stalking Jack the Ripper, which is my first book in herbology. I am currently on page 248 and I'm about 70-ish% through. So if I just give a quick overview in here, you can see that I'm kind of doing reasonably well with everything. I'm finding that definitely since I've started tabbing and since I've started reading 3 books in one go, my rate for completion is slowed right down. However, I'm still making very good progress. I've got a feeling that Stalking Jack the Ripper I'll get finished today because I've got 3 days off work, so between it's 12 o'clock now, so between now and when Rob gets home at 6, I pretty much plan on I'm going to do a bit of editing, but the rest of the time I will be reading. In terms of my other reading, Ace of Shades I've not really done a lot more of, but I have done a little bit, and as you can see I have a few more tabs. Spellslinger, I'm now on page 96, and again I've got some tabby bits. I'm definitely noticing that Ace of Shades has got a lot more to do with relationships and quotes and things and emotional stuff, whereas Spellslinger currently I'm finding it's a lot more factual based, and there's a couple of humorous moments that I've marked. There's one quote that I've marked, but generally so far I'm kind of waiting for stuff to happen. Things are happening, but it seems like they're happening at I don't know, so far I'm not really enjoying the storytelling in it, but I'm going to keep going because it is the group read and I do want to get involved on the live stream later on in the month. So I'm definitely going to get this read. Last night I did something a little bit different on my Twitter. I posted a poll saying hey guys, what do you think I should read? And 80% said Spellslinger, so I spent quite a bit of last night hashing out 4 or 5 chapters of that. Every now and again I think I'm going to do that when once these current 3 reads are done, I'll then put 3 more up and be so which one shall I read tonight? I think it's just a nice fun way to get everybody involved and engaged. So yeah, that's where I'm currently at. So Spellslinger I'm on about 23% on Goodreads. Ace of Shades I think I'm on about 40%. And then Stalking Jack the Ripper that I can't show you because it's on my phone, and my spare phone already has been given to somebody else because Rob's phone broke. But yeah, on that one I'm on about 73%. So my aim for today, and I'm actually going to write this down because later on I want to come back and I want to see if I've achieved these goals. So I'm going to write my aims for today. We're going to go with Stalking Jack the Ripper. I want to finish. Ace of Shades is broken up. That book's broken up into days. So day 1, I think covered the first sort of 5 or 6 chapters. Then there was day 2. I've just finished reading day 3. So I've got to finish day 3. And then it goes on to day 4. So I'm going to find day 5. Yeah, so day 4 is only this much, so definitely going to read day 4. And then for Spellslinger, I'm currently on, does it have parts or is it just chapters? The first trial. Oh, I'm literally just about to start the second trial. I'm going to try and get to the third trial and try and read the second trial for Spellslinger. So that will take me to page 168. So yeah, overall then that means that I'm looking at about 400-ish pages to read today. And considering I read 300 pages in a day, 2 days in a row at the start of this month. So I think I should be able to do it, but we'll see. So yeah, I suppose I better stop chatting on here and actually go and do that. That might help. Yeah, I'll update in a little while with my progress. My aim's to do kind of like some reading sprints mixed in with my editing work, and also gives my leg a break because my hip has been really painful the last few days. So yeah, let's see how we get on. Wish me luck. This is like literally 2 minutes after I just finished recording the last video. I forgot to say that today is the start of the Fairy Loot read along, so I'll be starting Wicked Fox today as well. So I'll be reading chapter 1 to, I can't remember what chapters we're reading today. So I'll also be reading that, and I started a new subscription this month, which is the Wildest Dreams book subscription, and I got my email today to say that it has shipped, so fingers crossed in the next day or two that will arrive, and I am really excited to open that one because it's brand new to me, and it will also be awesome to see what book comes with that and if there's any way that I can try and fit that into my newts. So yeah, I did forget to mention that bit, so whoops. I've been struggling with how to create really good vlogs and really good content, and so I'm turning to some of my favourite YouTubers because it's kind of like, well, I love their style, I love their personalities, and I love their like recording quality and stuff. So basically this is Read by Zoe, who like I absolutely adore her reading vlogs. Like I just laugh and cry all the time when watching them. So yeah, check her out, she is awesome. And yeah, so please Zoe, help me, be my fairy godmother. Voiceover time. So I decided on a setup for my bullet journal that I wanted to do each page dedicated to one of the subjects, and then for each of the prompts try where possible to match like the prompt with something that relates to that subject. It didn't really work on everything, and I also decided on that as I was already drawing, and I realised if the feather I was drawing for Care of Magical Creatures, that should have really been the outstanding. But hey ho, I am not an artist in any way, shape or form, but I love watercolours, and it's about the only thing that I am reasonably good with drawing. I'm just going to have to deal with that. So yeah, I've done currently, as you can see, I've just done Care of Magical Creatures. I'm also doing my charms, and then later on I'll get on with some more. But I wanted to do kind of Care of Magical Creatures. A lot of animals are kind of grey, brown and yellow, and they take the lessons outside, so it's a bit earthy, so I went for earthy tones. And then for charms, whenever I think of wizards and charms, I think of like blues and purples and sparkly and sparks and things, so that's why I've done that. So we've got the different effects there. And here we have it. So I've got to leave it to dry for a bit, but we have Care of Magical Creatures, and then we have charms. Oh, there you go, you can see the shimmeriness a bit more now. So yeah, I'm really happy with the feather. I've never tried to make a feather before, so I'm really happy with that. I like the background of Care of Magical Creatures. The E is, I don't really know, I should have probably thought about it more and put the feather at the end, considering the end is supposed to be about, O is supposed to be forks, but hey ho, you learn. We have, so that's supposed to represent an eyeball, so I was thinking like Buttbeak with his yellow eyes. And then this is terrible, but it's supposed to be the, I can't remember the name of it, but you know, the book from the third book, the one that tries to eat everybody. So basically, the ones that I've not completed, I've left blank, and then I'll fill them in as I go. Originally, I was going to do these as outlines and then colour them in as I go, but I thought I actually just like that design. So with charms, I've added, it's called Perfect Pearls, and it's basically just a powder stuff that you can add to make things nice and shiny, as you can see here. Like when you compare the blue on the feather to the blue here. So this is obviously Charms, it's still drying, so I've just smudged it. I'm terrible at drawing, as I've already said, but acceptable is basically just a wand shooting out sparks, and that was ink by Ours Broadway. E I'm still currently working on, which is why there's no completion date in there yet, and I don't even know what that is. I think that's just supposed to be, I don't know, why is my hand doing this so much? And then O is to represent Flitwick's hat, because obviously with him being Charms Professor and head of Ravenclaw. So yeah, we have O there. I know what book I would like to do, but because O isn't actually on my prompts, it's not on my must read to get Magizoologist, so that's one that I will hopefully come back to as and when. And then yep, so just going to let these ones dry, then move on to the next. And yeah, so I'm going to go do some other work now, maybe do a bit of reading, and then come back to this in a bit.
Hey guys, it's coming up to midnight. Just wanted to do a very quick update. I'm talking a bit quietly because Rob's in bed. I think my targets were a little bit high today, considering I also did a load of housework. I rearranged the study so it's better for videos, and we also did some decorating in the bedroom. So I only actually managed to get 196 pages done instead of the 400 that I'd kind of hoped for. But on the plus side, because all that work got done today, it means I have more time to read tomorrow. So I'm just going to read a little bit more before bed, and then hopefully tomorrow I can get a lot more done. But yeah, I also managed to get some bullet journal stuff done, so it's been a pretty good day.
Good morning, everybody. What day are we on? I don't even know anymore. Tuesday. We're on Tuesday. I've pretty much been awake 5 minutes, so I'm just quickly checking the post, of which we have none because, but hey, it's good. It means there's no bills. I've set myself a slightly less ambitious target today for books. So for today's reading, I've got Wicked Fox, which is the Fairy Loot box book. I want to try and get to chapter 26 so that I'm up to date with the read-along, so that's 132 pages. And then Spellslinger, I just want to finish the second trial, so that'll be 30 pages. So 162 pages is the goal, and then obviously anything over that would be great. I've also got to edit last week's vlog, and I want to try improving my vlogs because I feel like they're lacking in something. Also, this room is echoing really badly. It never does normally. Weird. But yeah, if you've got any ideas on how I could improve my vlog and what sort of things you'd like to see in my vlogs, then hit me up and let me know, because I'm really interested in your views. Yeah, I do have something really cool to show you guys, especially if you are like me and love Dungeons and Dragons. We have a gaming room in our house, and last night months ago, Rob built a table for our gaming room, and last night he took it out, he sanded it and varnished it, and oh my god, check it out. Look how beautiful this is. Ignore the state of my floor. But yeah, he built this from scratch. I'm not going to touch it too much because it's still wet, but we've even got like a little lip here so we can put a board on top to turn it into a table. But the idea of this, and the reason why it's sort of dipped in, so that dice don't go flying around all over the place. But yeah, he's created this. It fits 6 people comfortably. We could probably get about another 2 or 3 around it as well. And yeah, it's awesome. He's got to finish it off because those plinths need to go on the bottom to raise it up. But the problem we have with that, well, the guys don't have a problem because they're all tall. So when the plinths are on, they all fit under it quite nicely. When there's no plinths, none of the guys can get their legs under the table. But for me, it's a perfect fit. So when the plinths are there, it's almost too high for me because I'm quite small. So it's like, oh, okay, guys, I'll just put a booster seat on my chair or something. So yeah, that's a really awesome thing that I wanted to show you because it's just incredible. But yeah, I'm going to get on with some video editing, might do some recording, not sure yet. And I've also got to finish tidying up the study because I really want to show you guys the new setup. Yeah, I'll see you guys in a little while, and hopefully I'm not going to like collapse from exhaustion. See you later. I finished Stalking Jack the Ripper last night. I kind of couldn't put it down towards the last 100 pages. It was so good, like so good. I cannot wait to carry on reading the series, and there were so many like twists and things towards the end, and I was just like, with other books, when it gets to the end and the pace suddenly speeds up, I get a bit overwhelmed and struggle to follow it. This one didn't. It gripped me and I knew exactly what was happening because it had been so beautifully set up. It's the third 5-star that I've given this year. So now it's Sorcery of Thorns, Alice, and now Stalking Jack the Ripper. I'm starting to notice a trend here that all my 5 stars seem to be going to books that are a bit darker and grittier and not your typical sort of fantasy type stuff. So yeah, I'm starting to notice that that might be my thing. Moving on today, carrying on with Wicked Fox, and the next book in Herbology is a book that's between 350 and 390 pages, which is Darker Shade of Magic. And then that is actually, that and Spellslinger are my last 2 books that I have to get for Magizoologist. All the others that I've been reading have just been what I want to read. But I'm not even starting that until I've managed to finish at least 1 or 2 of the books, because at the minute I've got 4 books on the go, which is getting a bit ridiculous because I'm finding I'm only reading like 20 pages each a day. So I want to try and focus and read 1 at a time or 2 at a time. But yeah, so Stalking Jack the Ripper, 5 stars, absolutely fantastic. If you haven't read it and you are interested by Jack the Ripper or Victorian period or a fantastic relationship or women that are breaking out of social constrictions, read it, it's brilliant. I have a friend coming over in about half hour or so, and I've only got this much left to read of Wicked Fox today. So I'm just going to get on and read for a bit, as I've not really done as much as I wanted to again on my reading today. So I'm just going to use the next sort of 20 minutes, half an hour while I'm waiting for him to just get on and do that. So just finished today's Wicked Fox read, and I caught up on yesterday's as well, so I'm now actually up to date with this. I've got a few tabs in there so far. So far I'm finding this one to be more about relationships and humour. So I'm finding it interesting to see what most books are. So Spellslinger has been mostly like facts and world building so far. This one's been more relationship building from sort of the onset, a couple of humorous bits mixed in, but mostly to do with that. And then like Stalking Jack the Ripper, I didn't have the physical book to tab, but I was highlighting bits on the ebook, and I noticed with that there were quite a lot of like shocks and surprises in there that I was marking off. So each book's been quite interesting to see how it's developing, and it means that I can kind of, if it comes to rereading them and I can't quite remember what they were about, I can always just look at the tabs and it'll give me a rough idea of what's happening. Yeah, so that's that bit read. Turns out Laurie, my friend who comes over every Tuesday, is coming a bit later today, so it means I've got a bit more time to do some reading before he gets here. Basically what we do is we pick an anime that's like over 100 or so episodes, and then for the next 2 or 3 months, every Tuesday we spend sort of 4 or 5 hours. We order in Chinese and then we just watch anime for that time and get through it. We've just about finished Dragon Ball Super, only because we're now waiting for the English episodes to finish, and we've moved on to Bleach, so we're about 50-ish episodes into that now. But it's a nice break from all the writing, all the reading, all the YouTube and everything else, so it's a nice little breakaway from all of that. So yeah, I'm probably going to move on to Spellslinger now and do a little bit of reading there, so yay! Hello, it's coming up to midnight. It seems to be that's my ideal time to do these updates, so you know. But I've done a lot of reading today. So Wicked Fox, I have read up to chapter 26/7, so I'm now on page 202. I was on page 69 this morning, so that's, come on brain, I can't even think. Over 100 and about 140-ish pages. And then Spellslinger, I only had 30 pages to go to get to the end of the 3rd trial. And it started to get really good. I'm really liking, I'm not going to spoil anything because I want to wait for the live stream, but I'm really liking a certain character who's come in. And since he's come in, a lot more yellow tabs have started to creep in now, because he's just really, really, really funny and brings a complete new element to the story. So on Spellslinger, I'm now on chapter 34, which is page 285. So I've only actually got this much left now. So looking forward to that. And then the purple tab shows where I was when I started today. So you can see there I've done quite a lot today. I still, with Spellslinger, it's still not the greatest that I've read, but it's kind of crept up currently. When I first started it this morning, I was sitting on maybe it was a 3, possibly even a bit of a lower mark than that. So I was thinking it was like a steady 3-star. It's slowly starting to creep up into a 4-star book. I don't think it's going to end being a 5-star because I do have a couple of issues and it's got some bits that I'm not so fond of. So I don't think it's going to be a 5-star for me, but I definitely predict it's going to be a solid 4, if not 4.5. The aim is I'm going to read a tiny bit more before going to bed tonight, and basically I want to try and finish Spellslinger tomorrow, and then I can get on with Ace of Shades, because I do really want to carry on with that story because I've been enjoying it. So yeah, I've also done a couple more pages. Where is it? Down here. I've also done a couple more pages on my bullet journal setup. So we now have herbology. So we have like tangleweed, we have gillyweed, and we have a mandrake. And then defense against the dark arts. So we have Dumbledore's army, my own Patronus, which is the Occamy, which is what I have on Pottermore, and because the prompt is Cornish pixies, I couldn't resist Cornish pixies. And then I'm doing these rather than alphabetical, I'm doing them in order of how I've started. So because I've done my history of magic, well, I'm working on my history of magic, so I've also done that. So we have like just a little bit of parchment that I am actually extremely proud of because it looks 3D. And obviously for acceptable, I'm reading Wicked Fox, and I think the prompt was read a fantasy, so it does count. E is, well, they quite often fall asleep in Professor Bin's class, so E for that. And then O for outstanding. I didn't copy it exactly because that requires more skill than I have, but I've just done a very rough copy of the cover of Bathilda Bagshot's A History of Magic. So yeah, those are the ones that I've got so far. Next one's probably going to be Transfiguration, because the first prompt for that is a book that has LGBTQT plus representation, and for that I'm reading an ebook which is Mad About the Hatter. It's only 190 pages, so it'll be quite a quick read, but that's going to be sort of a book that I'm going to read during my lunch breaks when I go back to work on Thursday, so I can give it about 3 days, that'll be done. So yeah, that's where I'm at today. Really, really happy because I managed to read a lot more than I thought I was going to, and yeah, just had a really lovely day. Managed to get about 10 episodes watched of Bleach as well, and we're about to finish one of the seasons. I don't really know what else to say. So with that, I'm gonna go to bed, read for a little bit, try and get to sleep before 2 o'clock in the morning, which so far I've not been doing so great at, and I will see you guys soon. See you tomorrow actually. Ciao. Morning guys. Well, I say morning, it's actually afternoon because it's just gone 12, but it's my days off and I wanted a lazy morning in bed, which I've done, so I had a really nice lie-in. As far as reading goes, I've not really done any reading this morning, but I've been on Twitter a lot and I've been sort of planning videos and things. Last night though, before I went to sleep, I did read today's portion of Wicked Fox. And I also completed the 3rd trial portion of Spellslinger. So today I'm going to try and finish Spellslinger because there's only about 50 pages, or I think, something like that to go. Wicked Fox is done for today. Spellslinger, I've got about 50 pages, and then it means I can move on to the Ace of Shades, which I'm looking forward to finishing. And then after that, I need to have a look and see what else I need to read. I think then it's going to be Darker Shade of Magic, because as soon as I've read that, that's everything done for the day, for the Magizoologist, and then it's a case of let's read everything else that we physically can to get this all smashed out. So yeah, it's going pretty well so far. After today though, I am in work for 5 days straight, so probably that'll slow down my reading a little bit. Sometimes it does. Sometimes when we have a quiet period at work, I might read a few pages in between customers, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, as for today, I've got a little bit more editing to do, a little bit more tidying to do, and a lot more reading to do. So I'm going to go get on with that. Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a quick little tour of my new setup. It's not finished, which is why we're looking at a door frame right now, but I'm slowly getting there. So this is how we are currently kind of looking. To start with this side of things, got a little bit of artwork that Rob did up here and some decor. We then have the start of my rainbow shelves. So we have the fake book box from Fairy Loot. So currently I am storing the tarot cards in there from Fairy Loot. We also have the little pin badge with my Paper Gang pin. We then have like my red books, a little bit of a divider, orange books and yellow books, green books. That's just a fun little thing. Then we have the blue books. We then have little Marshmallow, who is my little helper, and he is super adorable. And then my violet books. We then have a bit of a sort of decorative shelf. So books that I find beautiful and items that I like. I have my Sorcery of Thorns Fairy Loot print. Basically what I do is I've got a folder. So this month's box is on the front with the fairy scoop, and then if I love the book, then the print that comes with that box will go on the wall. Otherwise, if I find the book okay, so with the beholder, I liked it, so I've just kept the artwork in the folder for me to look at, and it's got like the fairy scoop and everything in there because I didn't love the book, so I'm not going to keep that on display. Wicked Fox, I haven't finished reading yet, but I don't think that's going to end up on the shelf. And then that gets stored there just so I know where it is for quick reference. But I got like a little candle, and then my Vox Machina Origins with my Ravenclaw candle. How cool is that? Then we go down here, so we have the Violet books, so that finishes off the rainbow. Then Malfurion and Stormrage from World of Warcraft. And then we go on to like the colours that aren't in the rainbow, so things like the Beholder's pink. So we've got pink books, then nice little mug. And then it's like black, grey, and then eventually there'll be a white section as well. And then the bottom two shelves are photography things. So as you can see, I've got like ocean themes. See, I've decided to do it by theme. So I've got like pirates. I believe that is magic and Harry Potter, romance, Viking, D&D. This currently has like fairy tales, we have oriental, gothic, fabric backdrops. So we've also got some bits from where we're decorating the house at the moment. But yeah, currently that's what the main bookshelf looks like. So it's quite nice and quite put together. We then have what I'm going to call my special bookshelf. So I'm introducing a game. I'm going to do a proper video on it at the start of next month. I've created a game called Tbr Bingo. So every month I'm going to have 9 prompts on the board in different colours. So one colour will represent the first shelf on the TBR shelf. Second colour will represent second shelf. Originally third colour was going to be the third shelf, but instead I've decided that will be ebooks instead. The idea will be you pick a number, I then pick the prompt and then pick a book from the corresponding shelf with that prompt. But I'll explain all that properly. And then we have the TBR bookshelf. These are books that I've either read and loved and wanted to give showcase, or possibly like books that I haven't read but they're ones that I really want to prioritise reading. And then we've also got like in here, because this mug started to break like the first time I used it, so I've decided to make it my decorative mug instead. And inside we're going to have bookmarks, and I want to try and get bookmarks that match books as much as possible, just so it feels nice. And then I've got one of the last presents that I ever got off my mum. And then we have Victor from Yuri on Ice, because I adore Victor. We have shelf 1, which is just any book that I buy, that I've not read, or books that I want to reread because I've not read them in so long that I've kind of forgotten what they're about. So they're all on here. We've also got library books, because they're going to be a priority. And currently the second shelf is a little bit empty because I've not really had much time to buy loads of books yet, so I will be buying more. And then bottom shelf is my current reads. So all of these are the books that I next need to read for my newts. And then this notebook here is where I keep all my YouTube notes. So it's got like all my challenges listed in there, everything that I want to do each month. These are all books that I've seen that I like the look of and want to check out on Goodreads. And then the important one for this month is here. So this is my Newts TBR, and yep, so according to that I can keep track of everything, and I've moved things around a little bit. But yeah, so these are going to be the shelves that you see in my videos. They're not the greatest. I do plan on upgrading them once I've got my teaching job sorted and get better wages. But for now, I'm very happy with it. And yeah. So I really hope you like my new setup, my new layout. I plan on getting some lighting and like better equipment as time goes on as well, because like right now the lighting in here is really crap. The way I've set the room out now means I can actually get some lighting in here, and it means that I can actually show off the beautiful blue walls that I have that I've been wanting to show for quite a while. But yeah, so let me know, what do you think? Do you like the new setup? What do you think of the TBR Bingo game? Like, will you get involved? I look forward to it. And I'm going to get back to doing stuff. Speak to you soon. Hey everyone, I finished Spellslinger, so yay! That's the Wicked Fox for today read, and I have finished Spellslinger, so I've managed to read that much of it today. And yeah, I described it on Goodreads as a slow burn that builds into an explosive finale. And it's the best way, pardoning the pun if you have read it, because there is a bit of fire and stuff involved, but I figured that it's a good book, not amazing, not a 5-star, it's definitely a solid 4-star. I really loved the characters of Ferius and Ricus. I like Kellen. The one thing that really bugged me in this was the romance, because he goes on and on and on about being in love with this girl, and yet every time we see them together I just feel very like she was very, they didn't, considering how much they talk about the romance and how much he loves her, the actual character, she was so underdeveloped, and I had no interest whatsoever in her and their relationship. I was more rooting for him and Ferius, even though Ferius, I believe, is probably quite a bit older. But there were a few twists and turns, some of which I saw coming, some of which I didn't. A couple of characters that I'm not really sure why they were even in the book. Like, there was one character who, she was quite cool, that summoned Kellen to go and speak with her, but some of her tale and some of her story I was a bit like, am I really interested? Like, I'd rather be back at the action. So yeah, I had a couple of issues, but for the most part I really did like it. I've certainly tabbed a fair amount on this one, so I will be doing a full spoiler-filled review after the Newts Readathon, once we've done the group chat, because I want to also make notes on what other people say about the book, so I can compare what I think to what other people have said. And yeah, so I'm definitely going to do a proper review on this one. As with all my reviews, there will be spoilers, because I do want to go in depth into the tabs and why I chose them and what scenes bugged me or what scenes I really liked. But yeah, so for this spoiler-free review, I would definitely say 4-star. Definitely got better towards the end and has me intrigued for the next book. I'm aware that there are now 6 in the series. I don't know if I'll be invested enough to read all of them, but I'm certainly going to try the next book and see how it gets on. But yeah, so that's that done, which means it's now time to pick the next book. So this is my Exceeds Expectations in Charms. So Charms is now complete for my Magizoologist. Care of Magical Creatures is now complete, and for Herbology I now only have one more book to read, and then that means I qualify to be a Magizoologist, which I am very excited about. The book that I am doing, so the prompt for this one is a book between 350 and 390 pages. The book that I have chosen is Darker Shade of Magic. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go, well, the book's behind me on the shelf, but we're going to pick the book. I'm going to try and find a bookmark that kind of resembles it or that I feel might fit. I doubt that's going to happen when I've only got about 5 bookmarks to my name, but I'm going to try. So we're going to pick the book and pick a bookmark, and then hopefully today at some point I want to get started on that. So yay. As far as today's reading targets are done, I have completed both of my targets. So any reading I do for the rest of today is just extra credit. And yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. So this, as I said, this is my shelf with my books to be read. Dark Shade of Magic is the first one in that because it's the next one that I needed. So now it's a case of going through and finding a bookmark, which could be difficult. Because as you can see, I don't own a lot. So we have, I don't think that's going to fit. That one might fit, came with a paper gang box, and the box itself you could turn into bookmarks. I cast Spiritual Weapon, Jester from Critical Role. I mean, that's got magic and stuff in. Now we have We're Gods by Keyleth from Critical Role. I think because the colours somewhat go together, and Keyleth is a magic user, and I don't really know the feeling of Dark Shade of Magic, but I feel like We're Gods might fit. So I think those are going to be my pairings for that one. So yeah, Darker Shade of Magic is next with the Keyleth bookmarks made by me.